So this is going to be the entrance still, however we're going to lose this wall here and step it into a portico, which is a fancy word for entrance to a house, I think. Latin for entrance to the house. And then from here we'll have slidey doors that come back all this way, pretty much where, I don't know if you can see the laser there, it can come back like this, and also pretty much from where the green line is at the back, the glass will slide back to the centre of the barn here. So you will be able to come out here and also through those sliders and survey the box valley, which is pretty cool. One of the first jobs that I did, you can see where the gate is down there. The access to the barn was like this weird angle that I'm sort of on a mud, like as a mud pit. So I couldn't take any deliveries. I could barely drive in with the pickup truck. So it was essential that we widened the apron and the entrance to the field and poured a new reinforced slab there. So now I can have like 20-ton deliveries turn up in 8-wheelers. You can see that we put this driveway in that comes up here, so we can now park up here. Little cars still struggle a little bit to bump over that, but it's on the long list to get some more hardcore down and prepare that for the final driveway. We won't put the actual finished gravel down because I'll just wreck it, but we'll do that at the end. Other things that I've done since February, well, we've been waiting for the architect's drawings and the structural engineer. I've just beavered away. We've got the poo deck over there, first build of the barn. When you've got to go, you've got to go. And then over here we have, this is the sort of like first main project we did, is put what looks like a continuation of the existing stone wall over here. Behind it, it stores the brains and the batteries for the off-grid power system. The entire barn is going to be off-grid. So there's going to be solar up there on the new roof. Cool story about this wall is when we excavated the back behind the barn to clear it out, 75% of the stone in the wall is just from the ground. It's called rubble stone, which was a nightmare for me and Doug and Del to go through, mostly them. It was a nightmare for them to go through. But it looks awesome and it looks like it's meant to be there, and it's been there for a while. A lot of people don't actually even notice it until I point it out. So that's kind of means we've done a good job on it. The new glass will come to about here. So this will zip back that way and then you'll be able to shoosh the glass back this way. We've got these steels will still be on show and the roof will still come over, but you'll be able to have a little hang zone. If it's raining, you can still have the door open and it should offer some respite from the crappy British weather. The entire footprint, like around the barn to roughly here, is going to be the same height. And then you'll be able to step down to what will be our barbecue zone, where I hope to have a plethora of grills. I like to cook. Down the side of the barn here was all overgrown. There was a lean-to. It's actually kind of overgrown again now because I need to get down there and clean it up. I think we've got some grapevines coming down there, so maybe we'll sort of vineyard out as well. But you can see that this was all overgrown and I've got in there with the digger and cleared it all out. This archway is pretty much centered on the side of the house, which is cool. This lintel here is my friend's old gate post that was rotting, and I nicked it and planed it and sanded it back and chose this side because it looks cool. And the underside is like over 100-year-old elm that was the floor joist in his old house around the corner. So it's cool to think about that every time you walk under. This was a big deal for me to like nearly box this off. We've just got the cladding left to do on the outside because there was like literally nothing here, and it kind of proved to me that maybe I'll be able to build our house. A little bit of faith that I can build something. I did have some help with a lot of it, or not a lot of it. The block work is done by some guys called Doug and Dale. My friend Ben, who's been super helpful for me. He's a local guy and knows a lot of local people who can do pretty much anything. But he helped dig the footings out, and him and one of his guys helped pour the concrete in. But once the block work was up and that was done, I've taken over and done everything else. So full timber framing here. The roof at the moment is the old chicken shed. I will rip it off and match it to the barn when we get there. This end and the far end will be clad in the same wood as the barn too, so when you're walking around you can kind of see. And yeah, laid it all out nicely and I'm happy with how it came out. And it was good just to like get a bit of building done. Another group of people that have been helping out from day dot are off-grid engineering. I think we'll do a video separately with them once they come back to do the solar, but I think I made the right call by outsourcing the full off-grid power setup to some specialist guys, and they design a full custom setup. It's not an off the shelf sort of thing, and yeah, it's absolutely awesome. And rather than renting a generator for the project and waiting until we get solar, we have to have a backup for a month of the year. So we went ahead and grabbed that so I can do the entire build off-grid, which is another like cool kudos point for eco points. The last job here, last 2 jobs, is finishing off this cladding. I had some of these fence boards left over, so just grabbed a few more. So get this done, get some locks on the doors, level the ground here, put some nice gravel down, and then we're done. This is the Mega JCB generator, which is epic. I probably should know the stats on it because that's what everybody always asks, stat stuff, but we'll do that in a minute. We'll add that in. But it's been awesome. JCB was super helpful. They got me sorted out with this slightly bigger one when there was a problem with the size that we needed, and Off-Grid came and installed it all. Had to do a bit of jiggling to get it in. It was an absolute shit show because I had framed didn't know where the generator was going to go, and all of the wall studs were all in, and we had to lift the generator in with the digger, and it weighs like 8 million tons. So that was a fun day. It's the sort of last thing to box off before we start in the barn is getting the floor, or this earth level, up to roughly here on this gravel board. And then I'll chuck some grass seeds on it because that's going to be the garden shed, so we don't want steps if you want to be using a wheelbarrow. We need to get the services in over there near those wood chippings. We have a manhole, so the waste is going to come up like this and kink into the front of the house. So I have a easy point to send all of the waste into. We've got to get the water up here. The mains electricity is already run, but I need to bang it in a deeper trench, and that will go around the side. And that's pretty much it for infrastructure-y stuff there. Long-term plan for outside, we want to have a eco pool / pond over there. It's definitely a pond for planning purposes. And a sauna and a load of other great ideas. Sort of toying with the idea as soon as we get the mortgage that I'll stop doing anything else and build a sauna, so it was here. There's going to be a few trees dotted around here, and a native hedgerow that we're going to plant running down here, just give us a bit more privacy. We've got this cool electric gate system at the moment where you manually lift it onto this handy rock that expertly placed there. But the long-term plan will be that there will actually be an electric gate that slides in over there, so you can beat the duper on the way in and just drive straight in. The only unexpected job that we've done or run into so far that's not, I mean, it's not been a problem, but an added expense, is the behind the barn here. There was, from, you can see that tree there to this tree, there was a few trees that had blown the wall that runs the perimeter of the property, and the earth had all caved in, and we needed to scrape a metre out the perimeter of the barn for access to be able to build, and also just like, it was a mess. So after we'd taken the trees down, Ben, my friend that you probably meet along the way, drove his big 16, 18 ton digger in, and we just pulled all of the earth out here. This is the only time that all the neighbours have really hated me, because it was like 3 massive, huge excavators going. There's mounds this big and everything. But what we did to solve the problem, the farmer came over and was like, if you don't want the tractor or the combine harvester falling into your barn, we need to sort something out. So after a bit of head scratching, the solution that we ended on was putting in these 5 steel posts, and we set them in like metre squared footings in the ground, and slotted these pre-formed reinforced concrete panels. They have these bolt-on eyelet holes, or pre-formed eyelet holes that you can bolt these hooks into. Bolts the eyelets into the panel and again hook to lift it up. So we linged those in, and then half the stones that have come up the ground went in here, so when it rains it can drain through, and then put some soil on top and some more topsoil, and then I have planted what I hope are going to be this like beautiful wildflower meadow with some poppies chucked in there. It was a bit annoying because it did throw some spanners in the work cost-wise to begin with, but it's also like really given us a lot more light, and the view out into the field is beautiful, and yeah, so I'm happy we've done it. Then rather than trying to redo a brick wall the whole way, we've done this sort of agricultural fence up there, and then just done this nice return out, and then the boys capped the wall all along because it is very old, and as you can see, the wall is doing its best to, sorry, the tree is doing its best to knock it all over, so that should make it last another week or 2. We have all of the paperwork, planning, drawings from the architect, the integrated drawings with the structural engineers drawings with the architect, so we're ready to go. The mortgage paperwork is all in as of yesterday, although I did just get an email requesting one more bit. It's been a bit of a nightmare, self-build mortgage. It's a whole nother episode, I think. But it sort of feels like everything's coming together enough that we are ready to start engaging. I keep saying we, but it's just me really, isn't it? But I feel sort of mentally prepared enough to start planning the first, second, third jobs. To cope mentally with doing this all by myself, I've split the project up in sort of 2 halves or 3, setting everything out outside and dealing with infrastructure stuff, then getting the barn to shell condition, and then the internal fit out. So what we are doing today, I can say we because I've got my best mate here who has essentially babysat me from using a first drill to building his house. He like trusted me to help do that with him. And so I've dragged him down for the day from his company and his day job of designing to be fully responsible and accountable for the measurements on the inside of the barn. Yeah. So we are currently marking out where the steels are going to go. We have to plonk 3 more in to help deal with the added weight of the new roof and the panels and everything. And knowing where they go then dictates where the footings need to go and what blocks we need to cut out, and then we can work out where the windows are going. So we're just trying to like work all of these things out to make sure that they all actually work in reality together. Sometimes the drawings don't match up with reality, and Harry's helping me do that. So hoping by the end of today we'll have steels marked, where the windows are going, and sort of services stuff like waste pipes and water and things like that. So better get back to it.